Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal Peace Love Music with another morning update. And we do have a few special guests waiting backstage. I'm really excited to chat with them. I'll bring them on in a minute once I read through the news updates. Again, just a friendly reminder, this is a news show. We are providing information. We are not providing financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest money you can't afford to lose, and don't take my opinion as investment advice. I often get it wrong. In good news, Bitcoin is up to 64,918 as a few minutes before broadcast. This is a great development. It was having a hard time breaking that $64,000 resistance level, so very interesting action overnight, getting above that number, and maybe we'll see a little bit more sustained price action moving forward. Stacks is in at $1.82. It did drop down one space in the coin market cap index to number 36 by market cap. Fear and greed has moved up to 45, which is out of the fear and into the neutral territory. And the top three gainers for the last 24 hours on coin market cap are ENA Athena, Brett, and World Coin Token. I'm not very familiar with any of those. So again, do your own research. The Stacks calendar for the day, I do have that up. For Monday, it's a light day. We have Landy's Crypto Corner is at 1 o'clock. That's 1 o'clock every Monday. So tune into Landy. I think the DeFi show is at 10 a.m. this morning, or that might be tomorrow. That's not on the calendar right now. I saw something might be going on at 10 a.m. this morning. And then we have the DeOrganized Whatever Monday at 4 p.m. People can come on, chat about whatever. And last week we had like 3.5 hours. People were just chilling in the space, talking about a bunch of stuff. So it was a good time. Check us out at 4 o'clock today. Also, you got to tune into the space at 4 o'clock to find out how to win. We are giving away some whitelists for the Tremp NFT mint coming out, launching soon. If you're looking to get a whitelist, you got to tune into the DeOrganized space at 4 o'clock today. And we do have... just breaking. Fidelity had a customer records compromised. The $5.4 trillion asset manager had customer records were compromised. Over 77,000 users. Information was breached, including license, social security number, and personal data. So if you are a Fidelity customer, you might want to take some precautions and look into your stuff and try to get some better security there. Nothing's foolproof, not even a $5.4 trillion asset manager. So maybe we need some more blockchain solutions in the Web 2 space. Also, Bitcoin Research X space with the Rootstock community is on Friday at the 18th at 7 p.m. Central Africa time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time, and they will be discussing the complexities of oppression. Tomorrow, I'm super excited about the launch of the Avant NFT collection minting on Gamma. That's 10:15. Artist Reese Swanepoel, good friend of ours, good friend of the show, good friend of mine. Gavin, Arno Karstens, Rambler, and Nathan Forey. Some really interesting stuff. This is all put together by Good Kitty, and they are launching at 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And you can follow that live if you tune into the Art on Stack space with Good Kitty and Nieta. Rubes is at it again. Last week, he disrupted the Dex Screener space and got their Discord channel inundated with Stacks community members trying to get the Stacks ecosystem listed on Dex Screener. And then over the weekend, he targeted CoinGecko and got some responses from the CoinGecko founders and the main account regarding getting Stacks NFTs listed on their NFTs page with all the other communities that have NFTs listed. So really cool stuff there. Thank you, Rubes. He's been Rubes is the founder of the Leo coin on Stacks. He also had It was hilarious. He has a great community DM group on Twitter X, and yesterday morning he shared a picture of his new kitten Clive, and somebody ran and went to Stack City and created a meme token for Clive, and it's already almost out of the bonding curve. It might have actually jumped out. It was a 10,000 stacks limit, and they were only at 200 stacks away. In a matter of like 24 hours, they minted out a token, and this was just someone else in the community. This wasn't a planned thing. Someone saw that he got a kitten and knew the name, and within like half an hour, there was a token launched on Stack City. That's how fast the Stacks ecosystem moves now. Funny stuff, and Rubes is doing a ton of stuff for the Stacks ecosystem. Great guy in the space. If you're not following, you should be. Also, Stacks Power Awards submissions are now open. There's 3 categories. We got creators, builders, and community leaders. Winners of each category will win $400 in stacks and receive a reputation badge from Zero Authority. Community Choice Award winner will receive $200 in stacks and a reputation badge. And one special recognition winner will receive a reputation badge from Zero Authority. This is a community-driven initiative to reward those that are doing the work to move the Stacks ecosystem forward and building great projects without any specific funding necessarily. Talk Ovation Weekly Roundup. The top 5 nominees for the week are Reese Swanepoel, Jack Binswitch, Whole Coin Club, also known as Bit by Bit, I Am Banksia, that's Ian, and Peace Love Music. The top 5 nominators are Peace Love Music G, that's me, Reese, Joe C, Hero Gamer, and Nieta. And just if you guys don't know, the top recipients of nominations and the top issuer of nominations, the top 5 of each will receive a monthly NFT reward, again, a reputation reward from Zero Authority DAO, and those guys are killing it in the space for us. I did mention the Tremp whitelist giveaway. We have a few whitelists to give away for the Tremp Mint coming up. Our good friend Gigapepe GPSC is involved in that and creating that mint. Tune into the 4 p.m. Whatever Monday DeOrganized show, space on X, and we'll tell you how you can get one of those whitelist mints. That is the news for the day. And without further ado, I have some great guests. I have Ring Crypt from the Goatcoin Stacks community and Mike Jagdeo, attract funding from the Syndicate and his Cindy AI project. I'm going to bring them on. Good morning, my friends.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. Michael and Alexander. Good morning. How are you guys today? For those that don't know, Michael has been instrumental in work. Hello, can you hear me? How are you, Alexander?
Yes, I can hear you.
How are you today?
Super good. I would love to, appreciate. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Just for our guests to know, I might be on a slight audio delay, so you might be catching my words like a couple seconds after I'm saying them. So I will try not to actually repeat myself, and I'll give you a chance to answer me. So those that don't know, Michael's from the Syndicate group. He also has a project called Unicorn Funding that he helps people get funding for their projects, and also does some headhunting, provides headhunting work for helping people find talent and putting them together with employers looking for good, highly skilled workers. And then he also has been instrumental in working on some tools for the recently established Stacks Security and Audit Working Group in our efforts to try to help create some security scoring and best practices for the community. And Alexander is the founder, or one of the founders and main guys over at the Goatcoin Stacks community and their Meme Goat platform. and he's graciously come on today to talk to us about his project and what the community can do there. Alexander, why don't you go ahead and start? Give us a little bit of a background on the meme coin, the goat coin stacks, and how that project started, and what your vision is for that project, and where it's going.
All right. Love to shout out. Please let me guys know. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if my audio is great.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, so I am Alexander. On my journey into the ecosystem. Um, Whoa. Okay, so I'll just give a little bit of background to my journey.
Yeah, that's fine. It sounded like there was a little bit of noise in the background, but don't
I
worry
think that's
about that.
Vitalik Buterin, I think. Where's my pre-mine?
Good. Good morning. Reese says good morning, and he's let us know that the Trump mint has been pushed out a bit. Yeah, we're gonna be
Whoa.
doing that for a little bit, and then our a good friend of the show, Nobody Famous. Good morning, sis. How are you? Sorry about that, Alexander, but yeah, you're sounded like you had a little bit of work going on around behind you.
Yep. So I just moved with my family, so we moved to a new place. So trying to set things up. So sorry for
Not
the
a
background
problem,
noise,
man.
but you know,
This is an easy atmosphere, right? We're not too serious around here, you know. So tell us about the
okay.
journey. How did you come to start the meme goat platform and the goat coin, and tell us all about it.
Okay, so just jump to the ecosystem. I think in August. Although not as a builder, I was just doing research of L2s to invest in. From the last bull market, we saw a lot of DeFi boom in 2021, and I made some profits for investing in some of these DeFi protocols. So I just wanted to recycle my profit into other ecosystems, and I discovered stacks, so I bought some, but I didn't really look into it like where we could build applications and all of that. But back then I was working as a developer advocate for Eternity. Eternity is a blockchain. It's like a blockchain. So I was working as a developer advocate, trying to get on board developers to learn Sophia. Sophia is a programming language for Eternity, and so I think I'm one of like the privileged people to get into understanding smart contract programming languages very early. Uh, I joined crypto in 2017. It's been a journey, right? But 23 in August 2023. So I just wanted to do an audit on my portfolio. Try to see, okay, what are those coins that I bought, back then. So so I saw stacks. Okay, so I decided to like do deep dev research on them, and then try to understand the programming language, clarity, and all of that. And of course, I discovered that there could be something there, because we talk about Bitcoin L2s. At the time, I never knew there was restock and all of these other L2s. I just knew Stacks was like the main L2 at the time. So, I did a research on Clarity, and of course, as I following the ecosystem. Although I was following the ecosystem, but not as a developer, I was just following, try to see what every other person was doing. I bought Wesh. I bought a lot of these meme coins way back in 2021. When Wesh launched back then, I bought Wesh and I love all of this. So I bought Alex. I was already using Alex application, doing the staking and all of this other stuff. But of course, on the studying the ecosystem, I saw that there's an opportunity here for developers. It's very easy for you to go and build on Ethereum and all of this. Well, so to say, quite popular chains where you have a lot of developers. But then, if you understand business, for me, I try to look at things from a business perspective. Trying to see the future for what you're building. How if you're building in an ecosystem that is oversaturated, like you have on Ethereum and all of these other ecosystems. So I felt like Stacks was the perfect place to build. The narrative is right. It's Bitcoin L2. So the upscale level is there. That everything is clear. You can really upscale. And for me, I believe in the future of the ecosystem. So we started building in November. At the time, there was no launchpad for meme coins, right? There was no launchpad for meme coins. I think we just have the Alex launchpad back then, and then Vela was coming up, and but there was nothing for meme coins where you could just go and launch a meme coin and all of this stuff. So we decided to do something around that area of building a launchpad for meme coins, right? That was like the original idea for the meme goat project, right? So we launched in March. We deployed on testnet in November, so we started building up. Then in March, we decided to release the launchpad on testnet. We released the token locker first on testnet, then we released the launchpad on testnet. And in April, I think when the Nakamoto upgrade was first, delayed, when the first delay happened, we decided, okay, I think we could launch the token and, the meme go token, that's the go token, and then, come back to, build up the application. So we launched in April. We released a launchpad in April. And then we did our token sale on our launchpad. So people bought the token on our launchpad for the bots they pre-sale for meme goes on the launchpad. And then, from there we started building up. I would say I know everyone in the ecosystem, so to say. I think I know everyone, but probably not personally because, of course, I started having conversations with, builders in the ecosystem, this year. But I know everyone. And of course, the time I actually have a day job, I work as a business analyst and I also work as a project manager. And then, you have to balance your work life. And then the work I do not permit me to publicly, say I'm into crypto, all of this, so I have to just, keep this side of me from my day job. So, I do not lose my job because I'm into crypto. So I try to, balance everything off. And of course, if you follow me on Twitter, I do not tweet that much because I'm trying to keep it safe. And hopefully when Nakamoto upgrade comes into full light, I would probably just resign my job and go into crypto. So we started building the application in April after the token launch. We started building the meme goat application. We wanted to build a DeFi suite for meme coins, but along the line we discovered we could really build stuff that could cater for more user needs beyond just meme coins. I think currently we have XTXCT doing the meme coin launch stuff, and but we saw that there could be more use cases. We talk about the community pools. We have something we call the community pools, where you can deploy a staking pool for your community. So you did a fair launch. You decided to bring an extra level of utility to your meme coin, right? You can deploy a staking pool. Then we have the token locker where you can lock tokens. We call it verifiable locks. People say, "Oh, we're going to launch a coin and we're going to lock this percentage," but you don't have any way to really check if people locked or people lock those tokens. So we have a token locker on the application where you can lock your tokens and it's verifiable. People can go there, they can see your token is locked. Then we have the token minter where you can easily mint your SIP10 tokens. And then we have the launchpad, which of course you can deploy your own token sale and launch your token. And then quite recently we got into GameFi. I think the GameFi story, how we got into GameFi, well, it came as a tweet. I think someone made a tweet on Twitter, and Vision from Vela, you guys know Vision, Peter from Vela. So he was like, "Oh, um, if you're gonna, anybody's gonna be," I think the social media handler saw the tweet and he sent it over to, she sent it over to us. And we felt like, okay, maybe we could, play around something about GameFi. Because, I think we have Scorecoin doing GameFi, in the ecosystem. And we felt like, okay, maybe we could, do something around GameFi. And then, we just built it for fun. We just built the GameFi application for fun primarily. And then we saw that, okay, there could be something here, right? And I think we built everything in just a month. We did everything on the gaming application in just a month. And then people started asking, "Oh, are you guys being funded?" Then the questions, "Oh, who's funding this? Who's behind this? Who's behind the Goats project?" Because people felt like, "Oh, we built so fast, and all of those questions, right?" And I would say, I think this is a safe space, and I can really say this here. One of the reasons why I primarily, disassociated myself from the project at the early stage, when people started talking about who is behind Goat, who the identity behind the person behind the project, was because I think at the early stage on the Discord server, we had around 23 persons on the server, and we'd just be on the server, and people would come on the server and they would start, saying stuffs like, "Oh, the developer is a black man." I'm sorry that I'm saying this here, right? But all of these
No,
sort
listen,
of
this is a safe space. This is
in this space, yeah.
I I'm open minded, right? I don't pick favorites. If you're building in the community and
Yeah.
you're doing stuff here, and I want to know the truth of your story. So what you're saying is you were getting some. So
Some
there's
kind of
you were getting some
some
negative
funny comments,
negative
negative
feedback
comment,
in
like
the
they just,
Discord that was making it
yeah,
challenging to build
yeah,
out
like,
the project.
yeah. So it's like, I would say people were saying that the developer is a black man. The developer is blah blah blah. So I don't really want to go into the details of those kind of messages we got. So we decided to build the product and try to let the product speak for itself. You know, every product needs a founder. There needs to be a founder, like a face too. But when we started getting those type of feedback, we decided to, okay, pull back so the product can be known. So people can really see us for what we can do, not necessarily the race of the person behind the product. So I think it was emotional at the time. We felt like, okay, we could. It was crazy though, but
Yeah, well, you got to
and then
there's a lot of
and then
emotion putting
the
all that
emotions,
work,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you got all that stuff, and you got the stress of actually delivering on your product, right? So there's that piece of it. Um, it
yeah,
does make sense though that the for better or worse, if your founders aren't public or known, when the people involved in building of the project aren't known to the community, it it hurts the trust level in your brand. It's
yeah,
harder for
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah,
to trust that the platform
yeah. The brand,
is
yeah.
safe, right? So you're got to work on that's something you guys need to work on is building trust.
Yeah, I think the first thing we wanted to do is to build out the product and let people see the product for what it is, right? Then we then come out. Okay, so it's no longer can they do it? It's they've done it, right? So it doesn't really matter the race of the developer anymore, right? So people can see what you've done. So yeah, personally, I've been on calls with different leaders in the ecosystem on Google Meet. I think I've done a lot of calls with a lot of leaders in the ecosystem. I seek advice. We seek advice from leaders. I think tomorrow I'm going to be on a call with Grant, the app launch coordinator for Stacks. So it's that people know our identity, so it's not like people do not know us, but maybe I am not popular in the in the ecosystem. I think we talk about Rio, Slot, Rosa, Jack, these guys are very popular. Like, so maybe I'm not popular, but of course,
Well, part of that is though that
this is
they're
me. This is
very
me.
visible, both, and
Yeah,
they're both very visible in the community, and that
yeah,
Rubes is actually a super nice guy. Like I don't think he has anybody that doesn't like him. I like,
yeah. I think
but there's
Rubes was
people
like
that
the first
Rose are
person
maybe a
we
little bit
worked
more
with.
polarizing than Rubes, though. You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
jives with his personality, which is
yeah,
understandable. But I think that the advantage they have over what you guys are doing right now is just that they are more visible, which
more
helps
visible. Yeah,
people. Just even it helps branding. It helps getting their brand out there. So maybe that's something
yeah,
you guys need, is just doing a little bit more PR, being a little bit more out in the public. And this is an opportunity for you to do that today.
yeah,
I actually do have,
yeah,
before I
yeah.
forget, so can you tell me a little bit more about the lock, the token lock feature? Like so let's say I created a meme token about fresh, dry socks, right? And it got out of the bonding curve yesterday, because that actually happened. But so we have a
Yeah.
meme coin that got out of the bonding curve, and I was it was just it's just a meme coin. It was just a funny thing to be fun with. But we did get out of the bonding curve on Stack City. We're listed on Valar now. There's a lot of people in community engagement, and there's some stuff planned for the down the line. So if I wanted to do some kind of a token lock, to maybe show people that I would be able to lock my tokens, and then it's verifiable that those tokens are locked. Is there a certain amount of time that they're locked? Or are they locked forever? How does that work?
The time is the time frame is flexible.
Yeah.
The application is fully self-service, so you can go on there and deploy your lock, and then you set the time. You can lock for 1 day, 1 week. You can set the time. The time is flexible. Depends on what the user or the team needs. It depends on their needs. You can set all of those parameters on the form, and then you deploy the token lock. Yeah, so it's totally free. You can decide to lock it for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. It's just depending
So
on what
it's just a
you
very,
want. And then we have the
but
best.
I could say, hey,
Yeah, and we have token
I could say, hey,
vesting.
I'm going to lock up this, like, 2 million of this. It's a 21 million supply. I can lock up 10% of the supply for the next
Yeah,
3
sure.
years. And that might add value.
Yeah, and you can also vest. You can also vest if you want to do token vesting. I don't know if you're familiar with token vesting. You can decide to vest, and
I could
then
also,
you can decide
I could create,
to add other
I could
addresses.
potentially create an
Yeah, you can.
incentive for my holders too, where if they go lock their tokens up for under certain parameters, maybe they get in line for an NFT drop or something like that.
Yeah. So you can get. I think I would say something there. One would build the lock the first time we deployed before we got into. I think I'll touch on the audits at this point. When we deployed the first token lock, the
So,
first version.
do you mind if I just interject? So,
Um,
just for the audience,
yeah,
right? Today, if you want to launch a token on Stacks, a lot of people will go to stx.city. Today, if you want
yeah,
to
sure.
launch an NFT on Stacks, a lot of people will tell you to go to Gamma. Today, if you
Yeah.
want to engage in DeFi and see what that's like, that's kind of Skullcoin. From what I gather, you're actually, I'll say even more. If you want to stake assets for yield, there are a few options. From what I can gather, you're actually endeavoring to do the token, the NFT, the gamification, and the staking. Is that right so far? Tell me, where am
No,
I wrong?
no. We're doing DeFi for memes. Beyond token launches, after your token launch, you can decide to you can lock. I think it's we talk about pre-market when you're having your pre-launch. The focus on the pre-launch is just to have a successful launch, raise funds, and all of that. But after your launch, when we talk about the post-launch, how do you ensure continuity for your meme coin or whatever? How do you ensure people don't sell off? How do you ensure people hold? And we're just trying to bring an extra layer of utility. Like we have the community pools where you can deploy a staking pool for
So
your
that's what I want to ask.
communities.
Sorry to interrupt.
And
So, how would you describe the difference between creating a token on stx.city, where they have a bonding curve for price discovery, and how yours is different? Sorry to interrupt.
okay, ours is straightforward, a pre-sale, right? The bonding curve you can buy, you can sell, right, on the bonding curve. But ours is a pre-sale. So you set a soft cap, a hard cap, a minimum buy, a maximum buy, and then you set the start date and the end date. So when you hit your soft cap or your hard cap, we have an inbuilt tokenomics on the launchpad. 60% for pre-sale. You said that to the community or whoever is interested in your token. Then you have 30% for liquidity, right? So you take the XCX raise from selling 60%, then you pay it to the 30%, and then you list on an exchange, so to say, on a deck, so to say, Vela, right? So that's how it works. It's straightforward the pre-sale, 60% for pre-sale, 30% for liquidity. Then if you hit your soft cap, the XCX rate is paired together with the 30%, and then you list on an exchange. So there, and then we have a policy, a refund policy on the launchpad. There's a token sale that happened at the launchpad a few days ago. Skura, I think Skura MC Club or something. They didn't really reach their soft cap, so we have a refund policy. If a project did not reach their soft cap, people can claim back their XTX. So we did it in a way that people cannot lose money on the launchpad. So it's a pre-sale method. It's not a bonding curve method. So on the bonding curve, you can buy, you can sell. On ours, you can just buy, and then when they hit the soft cap or the hard cap, you list on the decks,
So,
and
if you don't
then
mind me asking,
things go on
let's
from there.
imagine that there's probably at least 10 to 30 people listening to this conversation right now that are interested in launching a
Yeah,
token. How would launching a
yeah.
token with you be different than stx.city? And I apologize for comparing you, right? But you
Okay,
understand this is the
okay,
decision.
okay. Okay. So I would use a classical example, outside of the stocks ecosystem. All right. We go on when you go on Solana, you have the what's it called? Pom.fun, right? On Solana. That's a classical example of the bonding curve on Solana, right? When you go on Ethereum, you have Pink Sale. I don't know if you're familiar with Pink
Can you
Sale,
spell that for me?
right?
Pink
Pink
sale.
Sale.
Wow.
PINK. Yeah,
That
Pink
doesn't
Sale.
sound like
Pink
DeFi at
Sale.
all. That sounds like something else.
It's quite
Keep
popular.
going. Jeez.
It's it's a DeFi. It's a launchpad for meme coins or utility tokens. So you can easily mint a token on Pixie. I think they've done over 42 million
With a name
USD
like that, for sure.
in volume. So it's quite popular too. All right. So you can mint a token and then create a pre-sale. You can create a pre-sale for your token. The difference between what we are doing and what XCXCT is doing is XCXCT is straightforward bonding curve. You can buy, you can sell, and then when you hit a particular, it's similar to Pom.fun, right? Similar to what Pom.fun is doing. Why ours is just buy. We don't have a sell feature on the. It's pre-sale. Like you're having a pre-sale. You're trying to
Right.
raise liquidity, right? You're trying to raise liquidity by selling a percentage of your token to the
So
community.
let me ask you this. As a founder creating this platform,
Yeah.
what do you think the benefits are of your approach versus a bonding curve approach for price discovery? What's the benefits or advantages of your approach?
I would say I think people compare us to the bonding curve, but what we are doing is very unrelated. Like it's very unrelated, right? It's like like an ocean, like this one is it, that is it. What we are doing is a DeFi suite for meme coins. We want to be able to create a platform where you can launch, you can create a staking pool, that is the community pools, where you can create an extra layer of utility. You can lock your tokens. You can vest tokens. We have the token vesting feature
For
on
the
the
audience,
token
can
locker.
you explain vesting? I think that's a key part.
Okay. For the vesting, right? You did a token sale, and then you have like 20% of the supply allocated for your team, right? So I'm using a very simple example. You have 20% of the allocation for the team, right? And then you are trying to build trust with the community that, hey, we're not going to sell off this 20% on dump on you and run off. You can then decide to use a token locker to lock those tokens for like 1 year or 2 years. And
So
then
guarantee
we
anti.
have lock ownership transfer on,
Right.
yes, on anti-rock, right?
So the
And then we
vesting,
have the lock
sorry,
ownership transfer where you can decide that
the vesting assures the community at large that these amount of tokens will not be dumped for a period of time. Is that correct?
will not be dumped. So you're vesting it for, okay, you're going to
So it's like
unlock a
long-term
percentage
staking.
for 6 months.
Hmm.
Yeah, long-term staking, right? Yeah.
I'll
And
stop
then you're going to
interrupting. Thank
unlock for a
you. I
certain
understand.
period of time. Yeah. Yeah, so what we're doing is not related to what the bonding curve, is doing. I am a fan of the bonding STX City. I think before the guy behind XTX City launch, we actually got into a group chat. We were working on some partnership at the time. So what we are doing is, very different. We are building a DeFi suite, not just for token launch. We're trying to do pre-launch and post-launch, trying to bring utility beyond just launching a meme coin and then, pumping and whatever. We're trying to build an extra layer of utility where you can encourage people to hold. You can partner, for example, the community pools. You can partner with well-established communities in the ecosystem, like Leo. Let's say you launched, let's use Fresh as an example, right? You just launched Fresh, right? And you're trying to bring more exposure to Fresh token. You can decide to partner with Leo to deploy a community pool where you can do stake Fresh and Leo, stake Leo and Fresh, and then both of you come together. You allocate a certain percentage of the token for as the reward. And then when you make those type of announcements, you tend to onboard new people from different communities. So the community pool, it's the utility. It prevents against sell-offs, so you can deploy a community pool, encourage people to hold
Hmm.
for a certain period of time. You can also use it for collaboration, so you can partner with well-established communities to deploy a certain pool. Like currently, if you go on the community pools, we have the Tenmensu pool, we have the Leo pool, and then we have Rock pool, we have Munib, we have Pombo,
Hmm.
and it's collaboration, right? We did stake Leo and Goat, stake Goat and Leo, stake Leo and Leo. You can even have stake Leo and XTS, like we have the
Right.
Tenmensu pool where they have stake 10 and XTS, and of course they're also working. I think they reached out to us this morning to talk about having a stake 10 and AEBTC, right?
Right.
So it's actually a wide range of possibilities that the community pools offer. So it's beyond just launching a token. We're trying to bring an extra layer of utility beyond token launches.
It's
We have the
almost like
locker
you see the pre-launch, the launch, and the
and the
post-launch
post
roadmap.
launch. Yes,
And if
yes,
you
the roadmap.
understand the pre, the launch, and the post-launch roadmap, then the
Yeah,
idea is that if you can anticipate what features, attributes, and benefits and mechanisms are going to be useful at their phase, then you
yeah.
can provide a DeFi suite that allows
Suits
them
that
to grow
handles,
over
yes,
time.
all
I
of
understand
those.
now.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
stop talking
basically what
now.
we're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Peace.
No, this is all great, and Michael, thank you for joining and participating, because you always bring you ask your questions in a well structured way that's understandable. Where I'm usually like fumbling over my words, as you all
Teamwork.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very, very interesting. And actually, Nobody Famous is from the Pepe Toshi, the Bitcoin Pepe community, and she says that she sees your platform as more of a longevity starter pack for meme coins. So for the coins that
Yes.
want to show that they are really for the community. And so one question I do have though is so a community staking pool, is there also yield? And you also mentioned uh a staked Leo. So is it a liquid staking? Are you getting liquid
No, no, no,
stake
no.
token? How does that I might
Okay,
misunderstand.
I think this is the perfect opportunity to mention something. When we started building in April, we deployed the documentation on Gitbook. And I think one of the issues we had with Lord Rosa, I'm sorry, to mention this with Charisma, and then I think there was a fight on Twitter, Goats versus Charisma, blah, blah. I think it was, with the community pools because we felt like he read our documentation and put some ideas for Charisma. But at the end of the day, when
Sure,
I,
which
tried, when
imitation
I
is the sincere,
understood it, no, when I
imitation is the
went to check,
sincere form of
yeah, yeah,
flattery.
yeah,
So
it's cool, it's cool.
they
But
took your
at the
idea
end of
because it
the
was
day,
a good idea.
I would say he actually applied it differently because it's not similar. I think that was a misunderstanding at the early stage. But I took my time to really look at charisma and see the mechanism. And what it does there is liquid staking. It's more of providing liquidity. It's LP farming, so to say. And then he applied some gamified, pattern to LP farming. So there's risks for impermanent loss. When you're doing LP farming, there's risks for impermanent loss, right? So if you're probably going on Vela to add liquidity, do all of this LP farming, there's fixed for impermanent. What we are doing is nothing related to liquid staking or the stacking DAO kind of method. What we are doing is straightforward: stake this and this. And I'll use a classical example. Outside of the Stacks ecosystem, also I'll use Pancake Swap, right? So I believe you guys know Pancake Swap from 2021. I was privileged to be one of the persons that got into Pancake Swap when it came out, at the early stage. So if you go on Pancake Swap, you would see different pools where you can stake a token, and the output reward would be another token. So you can say stake cake, NBNB, you know, those type of method, and that's quite similar to what we're doing on the community pools. We're not. You can set any token as the reward token, right? You can say stake fresh and XTX, and then you allocate the XTX reward. Now the yield is provided by the pool deployer, right? So
So you're
let
saying
me use
I can stake Mike and get peace as a reward?
yes, you
Interesting.
can. Like there's no boundary. We made it open, because we wanted to build something that communities can collaborate. You just launch Fresh is new to the market, and you're trying to gain more exposure. You can partner with Wesh because Wesh is more established. You can say stake Fresh and Wesh, and then you make the announcement on Twitter. Wesh, make the announcement on Twitter. People will discover your token, you know so it's the community pools is for communities to collaborate and then deploy staking rewards where we do not limit it to a particular reward. So you can set whatever reward you wish. You can be stake Leo. For if you go on community pools today, you would see stake Leo and Leo pools. They are all live. If you go on app.memego.io/community pools, you will see stake Leo and Leo pools, stake Leo and goat tokens, stake goat tokens and Leo. You would see stake Temensu and XTX. And then, like I said, Temensu, they reached out to us this morning to deploy stake Temensu and BTC, which is AEBTC. So there are really no boundaries to the rewards. The yield you earn, you can set whatever yield. So if you're deploying a stake fresh, if you're deploying a fresh pool, it could be stake fresh and goats. We will provide a certain amount of goat tokens to support the pool, and then you provide a certain amount of fresh tokens as the reward, and you deploy the pool stake fresh and goat, stake fresh and raw, stake raw and fresh. It's just
So the goal
for
of
communities to be
token
able to.
The goal
Yeah.
of Goatcoin is to enable founders to launch the greatest coin of all time by
Yeah.
understanding pre-launch, post-launch
Pre-launch
activity.
and post-launch. Yeah. So we're
I,
trying to provide a DeFi suite that handles all of these stages, you would love to go through. And I think I would mention the SocialFi application we released, the SocialFi application. The reason why we deployed the SocialFi application, if you go on socialfi.memgo.io, you would see the Shopify application. We deployed that to handle the costs for marketing meme coins, because we took ourselves as an example when we were launching our token, in April. We experimented on different marketing strategies. We reached out to some key opinion leaders,
it
and
sounds like you also delayed the launch of the gaming stuff because of the Nakamoto delay. Is that true?
yeah,
Hmm.
I think we were trying to get one of these
Hmm.
big DeFi
Right.
protocols to
Massive
partner with
launch.
us,
Yeah, that would have been a
and
massive launch.
then yeah, it would have been a massive launch. But of course, I would be very honest with you. I was very tired. Right, we've been working since April,
Right,
and
right.
I needed time. I just needed
Time off.
time. My
Mhm.
my wife just gave birth to
Oh wow!
to,
Congratulations.
yeah, so I needed time, I needed space. It was
You got a little
overwhelming,
goat of
and
your own.
I just wanted to say, okay, let's launch this stuff, and then come back to all of the
Right.
community. But of course, it didn't really turn out
So you had
well,
two
and
babies at the
then
same time.
yeah.
You had two babies at the same time. A professional one and
Nope.
a personal one.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So I just needed time to relax. Quite, to be very honest, this deploying applications can be overwhelming, right? It can be
You know,
overwhelming.
I like everything I'm hearing. The only problem is you're black, so I don't trust you. You know? Right? Yeah, Peace Love
All
told
right,
me that
so
too. I told Peace Love, hey, I'm launching a coin. He said, what? You're Guyanese. Why would I trust a Guyanese coin?
I thought
So
you
I
were
understand.
white until I saw you.
I know. See, I
yeah. A
cosplayed.
lot of persons. I think a lot of
You know?
persons were
You
they
understand.
thought the person behind Goat
But how does that
actually
make you
were
feel,
white.
though? How does that make you feel when you work so hard and then people are still looking at your skin, even in this decentralized world?
I think it's perception, right? I would say, I'm not saying this to be cocky on all of that, but we did not do this because we're trying to look for a quick buck. I could say I'm a little bit comfortable. I have a family, I have a career, so I could pay my bills, I could sort out my bills. So we just understudied the ecosystem, and we knew there was nothing like this that could handle these different stages for tokens, and we decided to just build. We're building because we love building. So it's beyond. I do not really see the skin color as a barrier, but of course, people have their perceptions, and what they think.
To be
But
honest, I don't.
at the end of the day,
My personal opinion or my personal experience is not. I don't think that that's a big factor for most
yeah,
people as far
yeah,
as the trust in the platform. For me, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference actually.
yeah,
But it's there is so in talking to people in the community about it, there's a lot of people that just don't know who you guys are, and that um that lack of knowledge, the part of it that's just an unknown, I think is what is actually the fundamental breeding of a little bit of a
yeah,
distrust, because they just don't
yeah.
know. And it does look like a really slick platform, and it has a lot of stuff going on it. It seems very innovative. Um, but you're also talking about, so it's also it's a meme play, right? Which also has a level of a trust or a lack of trust. There's a little it's just a meme, it's just meme tokens. What is there actually value there? There's some concerns there too from the community. But
Uh, there's a
yeah,
lot
of
of
course
value.
there's
Yeah.
value in it from the entertainment factor, and actually that's
I
really what's
think
going to.
I
So
think
the GameFi piece is
people
what's
think
going to actually bring more people to the space. The entertainment,
yeah,
art and entertainment is what's going to onboard the normal users to this space. Sure, people are interested in DeFi and making money, but what keeps them here is the engagement, and they
the phone,
engage for
yeah.
entertainment and for fun and for community and that kind of stuff. So we need more platforms like this, and this is very innovative and very interesting stuff that you're developing here. What kind of got this conversation started was the
The
I
audits.
forget her name. I think it's Bridget was the one that's
Yeah,
running the main account, and
yeah,
Ian Banksia, who is a developer in the space, very connected to the community. He had, in response to the charisma attack, he had taken it upon himself to do a really quick and dirty analysis of just the general auditing, what's available public information auditing for the various DeFi platforms in the space. And he had given you guys a low score because he couldn't really find the information. And admittedly, and he has said this several times, this is not something that's like supposed to be considered a complete analysis. It's not comprehensive. It was really more just of a start, an example for us to kind of get that conversation going as to how we move
well, yeah,
forward to establish best practices. And so Bridget had responded under the main account on that, and that got a conversation back and forth between her and I, and that's where she introduced me to you, and we've had a number of conversations back and forth back then. And you have said that you guys have very robust auditing practices. You've spent a lot of money on auditing, and that it's
yeah,
actually a continual practice. It's not just like we've had one audit and we're good, but you're continually auditing. Can you speak a little bit more to that part of
yeah.
it?
Sure. All right. So I'll say we're not a meme coin, but we launched as a meme coin because at the time when we were, coming out, there was a lot of meme coin boards. I think Leo launched at the time, and there was a lot. So we just decided to go with the narrative so we could have the hype at the time. But the meme gold token contract is not a meme coin. It's actually a deflammatory token. Where there's a lot of mechanism in the contract. Like if you go on the application, you would see you can burn gold tokens, on the app, on the gaming application, and you can see that on the dashboard. You can see the total number. I think we've burnt over 718 million tokens so far. But so we're not a meme coin. We're actually a DeFi application doing social fi and GameFi. All right. So for the audits, we got into the conversation with, I think I started talking with Grant, the app launch coordinator for
Mhm.
Stacks, about auditing. And then we were talking about the cost of audits because we spoke, with different auditing firms like Clarity Alliance. We spoke with Clarity Alliance. Then we spoke with Coin Fabric, at the time. There are really few auditing firms in the ecosystem. And then, Clarity Alliance introduced me to Seth Zeus, the guy from Strata Labs, and then we got into a conversation about audits. And then, the cost was crazy, when they did a full, analysis on the application, the cost of auditing the application, I think got into 100 and something K, but and then we started having conversations about, okay, how do we find solutions? I think we started this whole audit conversation before the charisma issue. Before all of this,
Right.
we were really proactive towards, getting security audits done on the contract. And then we had a lot of conversations around this. And then, we I think the Rachel from Alex introduced us to Coin Fabric, introduced us to Coin Fabric. So we started talking, got on a call with Coin Fabric guys, and they, offered to audit us for a discount. So they did a discount for our audit, and they told us, okay, we could pay this amount, and then if we eventually do a fundraiser where we raise funds. We could, balance off. And they said if we do not, eventually we do not do a fundraiser, we shouldn't mind about paying. So we picked Coin Fabric because of the reception we got, and
So
we
Coin
started doing
Fabric,
audits.
you guys, just I want to clarify that Coin Fabric gave you
Yeah, they
guys a
gave
deal.
us a discount.
They
Yeah, they
they
gave us.
but they also didn't require you to pay
We
until you
paid
have
actually. We paid. We paid.
you
We
paid a
paid
discounted price. You
Okay,
paid a
so
discounted price.
they broke down the payment into parts, and they said, okay, you could pay us this amount, and then when you do, a fundraiser, you could pay us the balance, right? So we made a deposit, and then hopefully, if we probably, I can talk with that attract funding more personally because we need to, get a fundraiser, so we can really elaborate on some of the things we're doing in the application. So they gave us a discount for the audits, and when then
I
they
don't want to
said,
stop
oh,
you there, but
yeah,
can you run through those names? Because I think from a founder perspective, looking to launch an audited project, you just mentioned the 7 to 10 names that are the key names in the community. Can you mention those names again?
okay,
Coin
the
Fabric, with
first,
NetZeus, with
yeah,
Strata. Keep going.
we spoke with Clarity Alliance first. They were the first persons we spoke to, and then we got the cost for auditing, and we saw we couldn't really pay for because the cost was much. And then
Right.
Clarity Alliance introduced me to Seth Zeus, the Strata Labs, guy. So I got on a call with Seth Zeus, and then he told us about the Orange Heart Initiative. He said the Orange Heart Initiative is going to start in October, and of course, he said, we could send him an email to keep us updated on the process so we could see how we can. He said, hopefully we can be among the first cohort for the, select the
Right.
first cohort. So,
Yeah, the Orange
yeah,
Hat's
and
website.
then,
They get a website coming soon. And that's going to be a game changer because it's going to be specifically there for founders founders, especially that are bootstrapping and or don't have the funding to do audits, to kind of get some audit work done,
yeah,
and or some guidance in that process.
yeah. So, spoke
So
with
Clarity Alliance, Strata Labs,
Strata
Orange
Labs,
Hat. Keep going.
Coin
Orange
Fabric.
Heart. Then I think Rachel from Alex. We were I was in a group with Alex when we were going to launch the aggregator decks. When we were working, trying to get some technical support from Alex, so we could integrate Alex and Vela into the aggregator decks, so we could get liquidity. We could aggregate liquidity from the two biggest exchanges. So we spoke about audits with Rachel, and then she introduced us to Coin Fabric. And then, we got on a conversation with Coin Fabric, and it seems, we told them, okay, we couldn't really afford this amount for audits. If they could come up with a plan that we could work with, and then they gave us a discount, and then they said, okay, this is the amount to audit. Okay, you can pay this amount, and if you successfully in the future do a fundraise, you can then pay us, the balance. I think the key point for the firms that we met, they asked us, oh, have you guys done a fundraiser? We said no, and they were like, okay, and you're able to build all of this, applications without a fundraiser. And we're like, yeah. They said, wow, okay, that's great. So it was. I think Coin Fabric was the I could say more affordable auditing firm that we met, and then we made a deposit, and they started doing audits, and we got the first reports for the audits, and we saw we had to change a lot on the protocol level. And then I think I shared a tweet with Peace Love Music, about the community DAO, the governance, the multi-sig governance model we implemented for as a protective measure to the votes, and then we have a community DAO for the votes. And I think people do not know this, but I would say we're very decentralized at this point. We do not have access. There's no back door to the vote. There's like if you eventually get a private key of one of the address, you cannot really drain the wallets because we deployed a step on the on the on the community DAO, which first we have to do a proposal before you can have do anything on that has to do with the votes or the DeFi or our application. We have to create a proposal first. Then there has to be voting. After the voting, there has to be an approval and then the execution. Right now, the first voting, the proposal is created like if you want to create a community pool, you deploy the community pool, so you deploy the fresh community pool. And we know you are going to have access directly to the votes because of course your tokens are going to go into the votes and people are going to earn rewards by staking from the votes. We then put a model where after you deploy your community pools, we would create a proposal first, and the community will have to vote, to approve your token. So after approval, then we trigger it. There's an operator contract that controls the community DAO. I'm trying as much as possible not to use technical terms, so I
No,
can
it's okay. I'm following.
yeah.
Um,
So
I know we're just coming down to the end because we just hit the 1 hour mark. A question on behalf of the audience. Let's say there were audience members, and especially token, like SIP10 token founders,
yeah.
who wanted to avail themselves of the suite of features, attributes, benefits, and service and product catalog offered by Goat. Um, they have a duty, whether fiduciary or not, to do due diligence
Yeah,
to make sure that their value doesn't get exploited,
yeah.
right? So if you had a founder looking at this platform right now, how would the founder or their technical team do research to make them feel more confident about working with you?
Okay, so if you have technical experience, you will be able to read contracts, right? That's like the basic, So, clarity contracts are public, so it's not like on it that you can encrypt your contract and you don't let people see. It's public, right? So you can go on the application, then you can see the contract, you can read everything. What we're doing is fully decentralized. It's secured to the last. There's no backdoor. To the votes. The first process is a proposal must be created. I think from the Leo community, someone mistakenly deployed the pool, and then we all reached out to us to like, oh, can you guys get the tokens out of the vote? There's no way we can get. We do not have access to the votes. We did it in such a way that if one private key is leaked or whatever, there is no way you can exploit the votes, right?
Mm.
There must be a proposal. After the proposal, there must be voting. Voting must be done. And if the community votes in favor of the proposal, then there are triggers, right? The community vote, which is Go token, is the first signer. As you're voting, you're also signing. So the community is the first signer. And then there's a trigger. Then we trigger, there's a multi-sig feature to the vote. And then first signer, second signer, third signer, then it's approved before execution can commence. Now, in all these stages, there are checks that are put in place to ensure the trigger is coming from the correct multi-sig address, or the operator of the contract. So, to be very honest, we've done audits, we've done the audit, we've gotten the first audit report from CoinFabric, and then we introduced the multi-sig governance feature to the vote, and then we tried as much as possible to disassociate some areas of the application from the votes. Now, the only feature that has access to the votes is the community pools, right, and the games, right. Now, for the token locker, you are deploying a single contract for your token lock, right? So if you're deploying a fresh token, you are deploying a contract for specifically for the fresh token. So it's separate. Now, if you're deploying a launch pad, a token launch, you are deploying a single contract for your token. So there's no way you can have access, there's no way to exploit it because we do not have control over that. It's your contract, you deploy the contract for your token, right? And then for the community, the vote, which is linked to the community pools and the games, there's a multi-sig governance feature put in place to secure the votes. Now, the only way anything can be implemented, we do not have access. To be honest, I was telling you, so there's no way we can get those tokens back. We do not have access. We will have to create a proposal for the community to vote in favor. After the votes is implemented, then there's the trigger and the education.
So my only last question as we wind down today is it possible for people who are interested in transacting with Goat Coin, STX, to view the Coin Fabric audit findings? No pressure, just
Okay.
a question.
The first audit we got, to be very honest, was showed us the critical threats on
The surface attack
the
area, for sure.
yes, on the surface attack, and then we had to re-implement some of and that's when we introduced the multi-sig governance feature, and then after that we are currently in talks to have another audit done on that. So we've done the first audit, we've gotten the reports, we're working on getting another audit done. And to be very honest, I'll say this, very, very openly. People who say they've completed audits, I do not think they're very right because audits are continuous because you definitely add new features to your applications. You definitely deploy more contracts. So audits is like a continuous project.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm done with audits.
Every time you add another equal sign, you now have a parity exploit waiting to happen. Yeah, I get it.
So you just have to continue doing audits. And for us, we're very security concerned, and we said we are the secure layer for meme coins. And we're not just saying that.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because it seems like the community would benefit from your team making the invisible visible, just like you did today.
Yeah.
So, for example, people are concerned that you didn't get audited, but in fact, you talked to Setsus and Stratus Labs and Orange Hats and Alex and Velar and Coin Fabric. And that's 10 times
Clarity
more than
Alliance.
most people have done, right? The Clarity Alliance, right? And so if we were just able to make the invisible visible, like, obviously sharing everything about an audit is an attack surface in and of itself. I understand. So you have to balance those two things. But I believe even if you published a partially redacted Coin Fabric security audit, that would be more than most platforms out there today.
I think I was talking with Gustavo from Coin Fabric this morning. I was like, okay, we need to put out the reports so the community can see the progress we've made. To be honest, I think we've done more than what people think. We've done more.
Well, of course,
we've
you're
done
black,
a lot.
so how could you know anything about security?
Oh
Where are
my
you
God.
from, if you don't mind me asking? I'm from Guyana.
I'm from Nigeria. I'm a black.
Amazing. So even more reasons for people to think that you're doing a good job, right? That's amazing. It's like
To be honest, I think.
Sorry,
Oh God. I think
myself.
You know what
I
though?
think
This is actually an opportunity. These are opportunities to shake out these stereotypes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the only way we're going to overcome it.
Can you imagine we have a white guy having a black guy and a brown guy on camera about finance? It's the first time ever. First time
We're
ever.
groundbreakers.
Groundbreakers. I like it. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate Alexander. A lot of people were really, let's just say, because of the recent incidents happening in the DeFi world, there is more scrutiny now than ever. And that's a good thing, because if we're going to live in a world where there is a public-private responsibility for the security of network states and the transactions that happen on them, in a world where we're not just waiting for Big Brother to do the audit.
Yeah.
What Peace Love is doing here with you, I think, is very important, because it gives the community the chance to do the work for themselves and truly become self-sovereign. Self-sovereign isn't just waiting for some security firm to do the audit. Self-sovereignty means having the ability to do it yourself. So I appreciate you coming on.
And so to add, our contracts are public. You can go and read the contract, and then you would see for yourself that, oh, these guys have really done a lot to, ensure security. Security is a mindset. You're building with the mindset of, securing users. And so far, we've not had any incident where somebody say, I lost money, or I was, no, we do not want to be in that position, and we're taking the right steps to ensure none of that happens. Yep.
I think this was a great opportunity. Thank you, Alexander, for coming on today. Michael, thank you for joining in too, because I think you helped shape the conversation in a way I would not have been able to. So very much appreciate you assisting in that today. Alexander, any last words you want to add? What should we know about anything
Famous
new?
last words.
Not last words.
Okay, for the
today.
gaming application, we built a GameFi application. You can go on there; it's live. You can play, buy tickets and have fun and earn XTX. I think some persons won 50 XTX. I think there's a guy that's been, rocking. I think the guy's made about 100 XTX playing the games. Of course, we are looking at releasing the mobile application for the games.
Oh, cool.
But of course, we're trying to experiment with Wallet Connect to see if we could, get Ledger, XVAS to, be able to work with the application using Wallet Connect. Uh, okay, that's
Wait a
what.
minute. So what you're saying is that, and I don't want to say too much out loud here, we can always delete this episode. If you're going to launch a game with rewards and you do it on iOS, Apple Store, they're going to take 30% off the top and probably won't allow you to do it anyways. Right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the fundamental things I see in gamification.
Yeah. Like I said, we're trying to see the possibilities of having a mobile application. I think building the mobile application is very easy, but getting it, on the App Store and then getting it to work,
that is
with the DeFi. So that's the complex side. So that's what we're trying to, work on. And then if we have an headway with that, of course, we can have the mobile application go live. But of course, we're not saying the mobile application is coming. We're just saying that's what we are currently looking at, to see the possibilities for a mobile application. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
interesting.
also, I would love to have, if we can have maybe a specific, stream for GameFi, that would be nice. So we can talk more on the games. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a GameFi day or a GameFi show. I'm a big friend. Xenotron's a friend of mine with Skullcoin too. He's actually, I think he might be coming on Thursday. I haven't talked to him because he was in Dubai over last week, so I haven't talked to him since late last week. But yeah, I love. My purpose here is to bring everything that's going on in the ecosystem to the community. So I want to help inform everybody. So yeah, I'm happy to have you back on, Alexander, talking or somebody else from GoCoin if you're not available and chat about it, or even if you want to just give me some information.
Anytime, any day, I'll come.
Michael, real quick, I wanted to ask you if you want to just give everybody a little bit of a roundup on what you're working on with the Stacks AI. What are you calling that now?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
The fact bot.
Yeah. We were earmarked for a grant and still are with D Grants Phase 2. And the purpose of that grant was to accelerate the go-to-market of key founders and projects within the Stacks ecosystem. Right? So in August, when we initially nailed down the agreement on GitHub, it was to focus on a FAQ agent, an onboarding agent, an accelerator agent, and a matchmaking agent. Now, in between the time that we, crystallized that GitHub grant to the past 6 weeks, the need for security came to the fore because of the exploit. And so I've been talking to the various community members about how we might serve the security side of things. And what I realized over our build-a-thons over the past couple of weeks is that we kind of have a choice to make, Goldilocks and the 3 security postures. Either we want a dictatorship to make sure that security is centralized. I don't think anyone wants that. We can either have a completely decentralized world where it's survival of the fittest, and it doesn't seem like anyone wants that either. But the middle ground is an informed and armed population that can defend themselves because they are informed. And in a world of information finance, right, knowing how to leverage and knowing how to find information is really the first line of defense, right? And so what I'm doing now with the team is looking at different ways to bring the information to people. So initially, when you talk to someone, they might just want a quick question answered. But eventually, when they really get into the ecosystem, they're going to want a really powerful agent that can answer questions, tell them who's in the ecosystem, tell them what contracts they should use. And so that's what we're kind of focusing on right now. Every Saturday, we're going to have a build-a-thon. And Alex, we would love to have you there for the next one, actually. Every Saturday, Eastern in the afternoon, where we build with other people. And I find that building with the community, we're actually making the community a little more resilient. And I'm happy about that.
It's Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's 7 p.m. CAT.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on, Alex, because what I see from staking platforms and DeFi in general is we are looking to take tokens and collateralize them. Is that broadly true? We want to collateralize tokens, right?
Yeah.
And that's when finance really happens. When you have like a home equity line of credit, that's kind of like using the collateral of your asset to get more assets. Is that right,
Yeah.
Pete? And so
Yeah.
I see we're trying to treat these tokens like little properties. And how do we collateralize them? Because that's when they become more than they originally are. So that takes them from a joke to a leveraged asset. And I'll
It makes
stop
them valuable. Yeah, it makes them valuable.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Alexander, thank you so much for joining. Michael, always a pleasure, man. I love what you're doing in the space. I'm so glad I got a chance to actually get a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on with the Goat Coin and the Meme Goat platform. I'm actually really impressed with what you're building. I think it's a really interesting project. I'd like to see if we can get more adoption and more users on there for you as well. I think bringing these things to the community is the first step, right? Getting us all together and making sure everyone's aware of what's going on. I've had you guys for an hour and 20 minutes. I really appreciate you coming on this morning, giving me your time and letting me get you out to our audience. We've had a great turnout, lots of viewers already this morning live, and I'm sure we'll get more. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add before I close us down for the day?
You better not screw people over. You're going to ruin it for all Nigerians. They're looking at you now.
No. The fact is, like I said, we're not doing this for
I know.
big buck or whatever. I've funded a lot of this stuff. I fund a lot of this stuff from my pocket. So it's none of this. I fund a lot of this stuff. People do not know. I fund a lot of this stuff. So it's not. We're not doing it because we're looking for money. Blah blah blah. I'm okay.
You're not launching a
large
meme
extent.
token
I
for
have a
growth.
career.
I get it. Yeah.
Right. You have a
Yeah.
platform that you're building stuff on that has a lot of useful tools. And
Yeah.
I think it would be of a lot of value to the community if we could get more people on there. Very similar to what Charisma was providing a lot of these things. It was growing, it was blowing up, and it's unfortunate what happened there. And I really hope that they come back strong too. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not a maxi on anything. I want to grow the whole space. I think I want everyone to win. That's what decentralization is about. There doesn't need to be one platform. There needs to be a bunch of functional platforms, and each doing their own thing a little bit differently, and adding value to adding value to the whole network that way. So I'm super excited about what you're building. I really am happy. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Michael, thank you for adding your piece. You definitely brought some tremendous value to this conversation as well. I am going to cut it off. Thank you guys again. You all have a blessed day. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I love our community. Happy Monday. Let's crush the week, finish it, you know, get in there, get the work done. There's a lot of work to do. And we are DeOrganized. Tune in 4 p.m. Eastern time. We have the Whatever Monday, and we're going to be telling you how to qualify for a whitelist mint for the upcoming Trump NFTs. And then also, you know, maybe there'll be some kind of moist play on Meme Goat platform. We'll see. Maybe there'll be some liquidity